In the world of video games, Pikmin was one of the first of its kind, giving players an immersive experience in a world that is familiar but yet oh so different. Pikmin is the ultimate game of choices, but not in the typical way you would expect. See, unlike other games that have lengthy dialogue boxes with branching story trees, you have these little guys, Pikmin. Pikmin are half plant, half animal creatures native to this alien planet that much resembles our own. They come in 3 different varieties, all with their own different powers and skill sets. Red Pikmin are the brutes. They do more damage than other Pikmin types and are fire resistant. Yellows can be thrown further and resist electricity. Lastly, the blues can swim and breathe underwater. Let's get into the story a little bit. The story follows a pretty linear narrative structure. You play as Olimar, a little space pilot who has crash-landed on a strange planet and needs to put his ship back together to get home. At the crash site, Olimar finds the Pikmin who, for some strange reason, listens to his commands. He uses them to help put his ship, the SS Dolphin, back together and get home. Here's the catch. You have 30 days to get off this planet before his life support runs out and he dies from the toxic, poisonous air. Pretty bleak for a Nintendo game. Depending on how many ship parts you collect, there are 3 separate endings for Olimar's fate. Looking at the narrative of the game on the surface, the game is quite simple. Olimar and the Pikmin don't really have much character development to them. The real magic comes from your interactions with the Pikmin. The Pikmin have a life of their own, singing little songs and having little personalities baked into them. They make all kinds of different noises that somehow, even though they aren't speaking actual words, connects with the player. Every Pikmin player remembers their first time engaging with water in this game, and the terrified screams of their little army as they drown and their ghosts fly up into the sky. Nintendo does everything in their power to make you feel horrible if you end up killing these little creatures, which, unfortunately, happens a lot. Can I just...
Oh my god! Okay, don't do that! Oh my god!
This creates highly emerging gameplay for such a linear story. The time limit the game imposes also makes for a brilliant push of agency. Every day you see that clock in the corner ticking down and you know if you don't move fast enough, your doom is soon to come. While the game is fairly free about what order you need to collect all the parts in, it has to be done before that time limit. Thankfully, the game is fairly forgiving and the time crunch isn't too bad to manage, but it still gives that feeling of unease in the back of players' minds. The interactivity of the game can be broken down in many ways, such as choice, space of possibilities, and enacted play. With the 3D environment of Pikmin, your choices are endless. You may choose to be someone who rushes in blindly, attacking enemies with careless abandon, or you may be more strategic, sneaking around enemies and collecting parts as fast as possible. The game allows for many different possibilities depending on how you play and the choices you make. Remember, the game has 3 different endings. Playing normally gets the decent ending, where you barely escape the planet, taking off in the SS Dolphin without saying goodbye to your little friends you've made along your journey. If you manage to get all the ship parts with time to spare, you get the good ending, where you get to have a proper goodbye with the Pikmin who made it all possible. Though, if you struggled and slacked off, on day 31 your life support cuts off, you pass out on the ground from the toxic air, and the Pikmin make you one of their own, putting you in the onion and turning Olimar into a Pikmin. The stories in video games are a collaboration between the developers and the players. Though there is a designed narrative laid out, the developers give the players freedom to play however they want and project their feelings into the game, changing the narrative. Players act through the medium of the game, and with Pikmin, emotions can be high.
Oh my god, oh my god, no, 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 no! Oh my god, please! No, 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 no! Oh my god! Stop it! Kill it. You could do it! Death! Death! He's eating my Pikmin! Eating my Pikmin! Oh no! Eating the Pikmin! No, 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 no! Ah!
The game really hammers home the consequences of the player's actions. Too reckless, you're looking at a Pikmin massacre. Too slow, and you won't be able to make it off the planet in time. These designed elements push the narrative of the game forward and prop up the story elements. Really is a perfect balance between the peace and serenity that the game offers and absolute chaos. These emotional highs and lows make the players invested. One of the keys to interactivity in gaming comes down to the game's goals versus the player's goals, which aren't always one and the same. The game's goals may be to simply leave the planet, but the players often impose their own challenges. Maybe they aim to get off the planet as fast as possible, attempting a speedrun of the game. Maybe they want to try and not lose a single Pikmin throughout the entire playthrough. There are many ways the players can change the game to create new challenges and immerse themselves farther than the simple game design initially intends. This is where the big G, or the interactivity of Pikmin outside the game itself, comes into play. Pikmin has a thriving community of speedrunners, let's players, modders, and fans. The game came out in 2001, yet you can see on speedrun.com that the best runs have been made only in the last couple of years. The love for Pikmin in recent years has only grown with the release of Pikmin 4 on console and the Pikmin Blue mobile game, which brings Pikmin fans together in real life. There are multiple problems that a good interactive game can come across. Pikmin manages to solve most of these issues with ease. 1. A good story must have unity, which is difficult in a game with many choices. 2. Games with choice can often feel shallow if the ending is the same no matter how you play. 3. Even if a game does have multiple endings, they can leave the player questioning if this is really the true ending and then dread playing the entire game again just to see the other outcome. And lastly, games are inherently limited, making it hard to fully immerse a player when they can't do all the different things that they want to do. Like discussed earlier, Pikmin lets you play freely with whatever strategy you wish to complete the intended goal. Though the game has multiple endings, none of them feel shallow or out of unity with the rest of the game because the endings are directly linked with how well you played. If you are wanting a different ending, that's no problem at all either because the game is incredibly short. The average playthrough takes about 8 hours to complete the game, but if you are more skilled, you can do it in about 4 to 5, or even in as little as 1 hour if you really practice. It makes replayability of the game so much higher because it's so easy just to pick up a new playthrough and see how much faster you can complete the game with new strategies. Lastly, the limit of actions that can be taken is so much smaller than in other games, especially from this era. Most games you can only control one character. In Pikmin, you can control up to 101. You as the player are controlling Olimar, who's controlling the Pikmin, who are completing multiple tasks at once. You can throw, move, charge, battle, and construct, all with the help of these little leafy guys. Puzzle solving and multitasking are a must-have skill for this game, and unlike in other games where you can control multiple characters at once, like Age of Empires, you are more connected to these creatures, and that connection makes for more immersive gameplay. POV is not something you would normally think about in video games as something that can change your perception of a character, but it most certainly can. First-person POVs usually let you put yourself in the character's shoes, quite literally, but this can make it so the character itself doesn't have much personality outside of what you project onto them. Third-person POVs, on the other hand, can help connect you to the character you're playing because you can physically see their emotion and them interacting with the world. But if you pull the camera too far away from the characters, like in Age of Empires mentioned earlier, then the characters lose personality, becoming nothing more but tools to be controlled and utilized. Pikmin subverts this by using the third-person POV, but keeping the camera close enough to let you see all the individual Pikmin, their little leaves and flowers bouncing around, hearing them sing and work. It grounds you in their reality. When they die, they don't just disappear. They make one less sound of anguish before their little ghosts fly up and off the screen. There is a carefully crafted amount of detail to make you invested, to care about what's happening not only to the Pikmin, but also to Olimar. There are 3 pillars to game design: plot, character, and lore. Most games succeed in 2 of these things to be successful. Pikmin, as previously stated, has a very simple plot. Find the ship parts and get Olimar off the planet. Pikmin instead focuses on character and lore to intrigue players. We have already discussed at great lengths how well the game makes you care for the characters and why, but the lore is an interesting part of Pikmin as well. This alien planet Olimar lands on, the objects you see, the environments, it's all very similar to Earth. But the catch is you never see any human beings. Hidden beneath the cute surface of this game, deep and dark lore has been theorized about. Did all the humans leave Earth behind to travel the stars? Or maybe they were wiped out by a nuclear apocalypse. Is that why the air is toxic? If so, why can the Pikmin breathe it? Pikmin 1 leaves us questioning many things. This lore is expanded upon in further games but never directly addressed, leaving fans to create their own theories. In summary, Pikmin is a beautiful game, balancing the player's free will with action and consequences. Though the plot may be simplistic, the story is built by the friends we make and lose along the way. The grief the players feel when losing a Pikmin, the excitement from defeating a boss, the relief from completing goals just in the nick of time, it adds a layer of complexity to the story and tone of the game that other forms of media just can't quite replicate. For me, Pikmin is one of my favorite franchises of all time. The joy and whimsy of solving puzzles coupled with the chaos and evil the developers put you through, it's unlike any other game I've played to date. I cannot wait until the next game to see what new elements they add to further the interactivity, agency, and narrative elements of this fantastic franchise.